He probably was hoping for maybe another ambitious man next to her.
Yeah.
And then, she can relax. But if she has his quality as a daughter, then definitely she's going to be more ambitious.
Yeah.
And if you have two ambitious people in the relationship, they can be butting heads too, in a lot of things,
You could, but that guy has to be a lot more ambitious than you.
Yeah, and stronger.
Yep.
And who could be more ambitious than having, if she has 2 jobs, he needs to have 3. Welcome back to the Real and Relatable podcast. I'm Ma.
My name is Kash. I'm Elsie.
And you guys may remember AJ.
Hi.
She's been a guest on some of our episodes, but she is actually going to join us as a permanent co-host on the show.
Woo!
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, lady. And before we move on, we just want to address, you guys may remember MB used to be a co-host on the show. We didn't kick her off, so don't worry. She decided to take a step back just to focus on her family. So we are going to miss her. Hopefully we can have her back as a guest in future episodes. But for now, she will not be part of the show going forward. All right. I know that it's been a while since we released an episode. I think it's been about 3-4 months at this point. So I do want to take this episode to kind of just catch everyone up on what we all have been doing. And let's go from there.
First of all, welcome back to you guys too. Thank you for joining us. We're excited to be back. We all took some time off. We had a lot going on in everyone's lives. So it's really nice to get back together and also have a new co-host who's, a good friend of ours. She's so dynamic that she brings a lot of energy. So we're excited to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. For me, I don't know. Okay,
let me ask. So what has been going on in your dating life?
Oh my gosh. Okay, dating life. I am dating somebody new.
Okay.
What?
Is it official? It's official.
Wow.
It's exciting. Great guy. I don't know. We're having a lot of fun. It's 2 months in.
Okay.
So still getting to know each other, but
And you met him on
Hinge, on an app.
Oh, yeah.
But
it
yeah,
worked out for her.
Huh?
The dating app worked out for her.
Well, so far, right? You never know.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Okay.
He's very open. He's direct. He's straightforward. And it's what I appreciate about him is that he has a lot of clarity in the relationship. He wants something serious. He is, chosen me. And so I'm like, okay, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that he knows this and wants this and is moving and progressing the relationship. So I don't have to wonder, even when we made it official, it was just going to Coachella together. And he's like, so, you're going to meet my mother and my stepfather and people I work with.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
so what did he say? I can't remember how he worded
This
it.
is 2 months into dating, right?
1 month into dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when
And-
he knows, he knows.
Yeah. When he knows, he knows. When they know, yeah.
Okay.
What did he ask me? He said, so because you're gonna meet all these people, can I introduce you as my girlfriend, or I'm gonna introduce you as my girlfriend or something like that? And I said, are you asking me? He's like, nope, I'm confirming.
Oh,
I was like,
I like that.
oh, okay, yeah, I like that.
really aggressive.
So
Assertive.
yeah, I like those kinds of men,
They're taking the lead.
Yeah.
But they're masculine in a way.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
Right? They're
Yeah,
asking
exactly.
for consent.
Yeah.
But I have a question. Do we consider that assertive and good thing because you actually like him and he's cute? But what if you didn't like him? And he said that.
Then no. If you didn't like him, if I weren't attracted to him or didn't feel the same way,
And he's like,
it
I'm
would be like
confirming that you're
love
my girlfriend.
bombing me,
Yeah.
you're being aggressive, you're being too
Different
much.
perspective.
But exactly.
Okay.
But so far, everything's good, and he's telling his family and friends. I've already met his friends, and I already met his son, and he's his daughters are in college, so I haven't met them, but so it's he's certain.
Okay.
And I feel like the guy that I was dating before him, it was he wanted it, but he was still like afraid, like very afraid of like, should I, like I could tell that it was like, should I introduce her to my family yet and my kids yet or not? You know, like, yeah, there's a hesitancy that you can feel inside, right? So when you feel it, then you start to feel like anxious and start to feel like maybe he's not right either, you know? So you start to like just doubt each other. And this guy, he has like no doubt. He's like very open. He's like very forward. He's like very, you know, so that's refreshing. Yeah. So we'll see, you know. But also I've decided that I'm going to take a different approach and be more open and more vulnerable too. Like we talked about, I don't ever post anything on social media. And I'm treading into that a little bit, you know.
Okay. Oh, right. You posted him on your story.
I saw her Facebook.
So that's serious.
Yeah.
You post them because she doesn't post anything.
She made it Facebook official with the post, the photo.
Kind of.
Yeah. So that was really cute. When I saw it, I was just like, whoa.
You were like,
What's going on? Yeah. What's going on? This is weird. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm changing my approach a little bit. So we'll see. You know, I'm just trying to be more open and not be so reserved and not always have my guard up. You know, you got to live a little bit at this age, like, you know, just let it go and just jump in, I guess, you know. But it's been good so far. Like a month dating, a month official.
Okay.
Month and a half now official. So we'll see. Yeah. So that's the good news, what's been going on. Everything else has been fine too. And then the sad news is there's no doggy anymore. Like she passed unexpectedly, and so I've been kind of dealing with that too. Like it's been like a month without her. So you know, I'm still kind of like missing her, still kind of, you know, adjusting to all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys have seen her on the episode.
Yeah.
Vita.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Okay, we should have brought tissues.
Yeah.
Go you, Kash.
Not anything much too new. Working a lot. And school. That's really it.
Okay, same question.
Busy though. You're keeping busy. You're taking on a lot of activities. It's a lot. You're writing. You're taking piano lessons. You're like doing flower arrangements. You're like.
I was taking piano lessons. I'm going to reschedule my flower arrangement class for next semester because it's just too much. But I had to put the piano lessons on pause so I could focus. But I'll pick up that once I get back from Europe. So I'll be going to Europe next week. I mean, in a couple of days. Actually, in 3 days. When this episode drops, she'll already be in Europe. Yeah. I'll be, you know, going for a wedding. I'll be singing for a wedding. It'll be fun. And then as far as the love department, I did recently meet somebody that I do like, and it's really nice because I haven't felt that kind of comfort and feeling. So there were some sparks. There's some sparks, yeah, and I haven't felt that in a while. Okay. But I honestly I don't know where it stands, and I think that, you know, it's something that it would have to be mutual. And you know, like he would have to take the lead. So I it's too new. Like I almost didn't want.
How long has it been?
Well, I mean, we met each other last month, but like have gotten closer just you know within the past week.
Then it's not. Then not. Yeah.
It's not pressure. It's not anything. It's just too new. But I'm just mentioning it because you know it's like
it's nice.
It's progressing. Yeah. So, I mean, it could be nothing tomorrow. Who knows? Yeah. It could be nothing tomorrow. It could be nothing by the time this thing posts. You know. Oh dang, guys! I went to Europe and there's no more love life. But wait, let's stop being negative. But regardless, for me, it's a positive thing because it helps me reaffirm like, wow, this level of intimacy and connection could be achieved again. So
even if, you know, it becomes nothing tomorrow,
Yeah.
it's nice to have. It's like a nice experience to go through.
Yeah.
Because you always learn bits and pieces about yourself with every interaction.
What's a good quality that he has that stands out that you thought that?
Really, really caring, really considerate.
Okay.
Masculine.
Okay.
I like masculine.
Nice.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's
so
fun. It's good.
it is. But again, I mean, it's way too early to talk. I really didn't want to mention anything. I didn't want to jinx it. No, honestly, it could be nothing tomorrow. I'm telling you guys. So it's just too early.
Okay.
But we'll think positively.
Yeah.
So that it turns into something positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay, we'll stop saying that just in case, you know, just in case when this episode drops, it really does nothing. Okay.
It's life.
So AJ, you're the newest. So what's been going on with your life? Tell us a little bit about yourself because they got to know us.
So basically right now I'm in a relationship, of course. I know you guys, I've mentioned it a couple times in our podcast in the past. It's going well. You know, doing lots of things right now. I also have a personal trainer working on health, you know. It's really interesting. Like when I was younger in my 20s, you know, they always told us to do cardio. That's how you're going to lose weight. And, you know, but now I have a personal trainer and he's all like, no, you got to do your strength training. You got to be working out, picking up, you know, your the weights and everything like that. So I've just been learning the great poses and what to do. And it's really been changing my body form too. So I find that really interesting. And I feel really kind of like sad that I wish I would have known in my 20s that lifting weights was going to be kind of a beneficial for us women, you know, especially I'm older too. And so we are losing muscle masses right now. And so like building muscle right now is very important for us, you know. And so I'm all gung-ho about it. I'm excited and seeing how the body can transform and improve and look. So yeah, that's
awesome.
probably what I've been doing.
Do you have like a goal weight or goal body fat percentage that you're reaching?
I don't have one, but I just want to look good.
Okay.
You already look good.
Don't be all. Don't worry.
I want to look good in my nice black dress. You know what I'm saying? Like the really tiny cocktail dresses. You know, wear a bodycon outfit. You know, so something like that would be nice.
I'm gonna get you some bodycon clothing.
Yes.
Yes. Because I work at a brand and like I never dressed that way before, and now I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
and their dresses really
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It's really it's really tight. But it really snatches you
like,
in.
you really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll get you guys some samples.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Model show, fashion show. Yep, we'll do a fashion show.
Yeah.
What about you?
All right. Well, for me, and I think part of the reason why we kind of put the podcast on hold was, shit, I didn't think I was gonna start crying, but my dad passed away, in December, so it was really hard for me. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna cry.
It's okay.
It's all right. He passed away, and me and my sister was there to witness him take his last breath. So it was really traumatizing for me. So I just needed some time off to really focus. And he was an important person in my life, so of course I needed some time to just be away from the cameras and just focus on my family. And as you guys know, in our culture, you know, the funeral, all the funeral stuff is
It's intense.
A lot. Yeah, a lot
a lot of work.
Days, guys, days.
Months.
I couldn't believe it when she told me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, we still have, I think, one last thing that I have to go back to Minnesota for as part of
The ritual.
kind of final ritual. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that's done, that's when it's really done. But that was the biggest thing that happened and why we kind of put everything on hold. So as you can tell, I definitely did not have time to date or go on any dates or focus on anything else. I think I barely made it through work. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised that I didn't take off time off of work. But I feel like that was kind of a way to get my mind off of everything else too. So, but yeah, that's what's been going on with me and why we took a break also. But let's move on to something else. So keep talking about this. But aside from catching up just on our lives, I did want us to also catch up on some of the social media stuff that has been going on on social media. I think this is the biggest one on TikTok, and I know this was already a couple months ago, and this is about Sarah Kim. So if you guys are on TikTok, you guys probably have already heard this already. But if you're not, and you go to TikTok and you type in Sarah Kim, you'll hear about this drama. So I just kind of want us to talk a little bit about it. I think the important message is that we all don't know what her life really is like, right? All we know is just the bits and pieces that we saw on the podcast, the bits and pieces that we saw on TikTok, everyone talking about it, but we don't really know what their life is really about. And that's kind of what happens when you put your life out on social media. You leave it up for people to interpret it however they like.
If you don't know the story, they did like a 7-episode thing, and they're both sitting together, basically talking about their entire relationship. I didn't see all of it. I only saw a few clips that you sent, and then other people commenting it on what was said. And so it's really hard to make like a full analysis on it, but there are some things that are disturbing, and then there are some things that makes you question, like, how much should you disclose about your relationship when you're in the public eye? Or if you can't disclose all of it, then it says something as well.
In his podcast, they talked about how the dad at first did not approve of him.
Well, I was gonna say that I saw a clip of him basically asking the father for permission to marry the daughter.
Yeah. And he
went white. The dad turned white and just was like, okay, I need some time to think about it. And it's like he didn't respond for like 2 months or so, a month or 2 months. And the husband, Andrew, he said he waited 2 weeks, and then he starts to sweat and he messaged the father-in-law separately to say, let me know if you have any questions. And the father said, no, I don't have any questions. I just need more time. So that's already a red flag. Like, he should have never let his daughter marry him, because he knew this guy was no good, not at the level, not at the standard that he would want his daughter to be with. And I don't know why he allowed his daughter to marry him.
I think I understand. I think, there's a lot of people who talked about that, right? They're like, oh, your dad was so great and he was against it. Like, why did he agree to let his daughter? Because the dad's thought is, I trust my daughter. I trust that my daughter is making the right decision for her in her life. Yeah. So it's just like,
that's true.
It's just like if you maybe when you got married, your dad didn't want you to get married to your...
He didn't trust me.
Yeah.
He didn't trust my decision-making skills.
But he didn't
He was not happy.
He didn't. Yeah, but you still married him anyway.
Yeah.
I wanted it to happen. Yeah.
But he should at least said something.
Yeah.
Now you say that.
Yeah.
Oh no, my father said something, but but I don't think it was not.
Can't stop you. But yeah. See, I think that's also the thing. It's like, even if he was to say no, like he probably didn't want his daughter to resent him, right? Like, and let's say they break up, because they did break up. Oh, because the dad originally said no, you guys can't date. Because because he was 8 years older than her, so she was like 21 and he was like 28 or something like that. And so the dad was like, absolutely not. So they did break up for a little bit, and then they got back together.
Okay.
So I think the dad's thought is, well, even if I say no, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna resent me. Let's say this is supposedly your soulmate, and I'm holding you back from your soulmate.
I'm so curious if he had a real open and honest conversation with her. If he's that loving, do they have that kind of relationship where he can openly talk to her? The father and daughter,
Yeah. I don't know.
They probably did talk.
Yeah.
To some extent.
I mean, they seem like they're really close.
It does, but it does sound like the father is a little bit more doting to her.
Yeah.
And that he's going to be willing to be flexible with her, whatever decision she makes.
Yeah.
But even she talked, I think after all the release of some of the video that she had with her and her husband, she even talked about how she makes a choice every day to choose this man that she married. So it seems like if she had a conversation with her dad probably said, I need your eyes to be really open and wide, understand who he is, and accept that that's going to be the person you're going to be married to, you know? And so she probably was like, yeah. So I think when she made the choices that she did the second time around, like getting back with the ex-boyfriend and current husband, she probably had more an awareness, like at that point, like, okay, I know who I'm really marrying.
You know at that age.
You know at that age.
She was young, you know. And that's probably it.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, she says constantly she chooses him every day. So that means,
because
Hey,
young and dumb. We did that whole thing for 10 years.
every day for 15 years.
Yes, exactly. And it was stupid.
Exactly.
It was
You're never
stupid.
seeing you do that. And
My dad did see me do that.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh God, when is she ever gonna leave him?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, he's gonna let you.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, my dad never really said anything about my ex-boyfriend other than I don't really care for him.
Oh,
That's nice.
But you knew how he felt.
Yeah.
He made it clear, but he's not gonna like disrespect your choice.
Yeah. Because I mean, like when he did come around, my dad did say hi, but it's not like my dad took his time to like talk to him. Like that.
Yeah, didn't like him.
I mean, I don't know. He just was never really fond of him, and I just never really understood why until later on.
After
until now, until now, why my dad was never fond of him, but it makes sense. I mean, would it have helped if my dad said something? Probably not.
Yeah.
I probably still would have stayed as long as I did.
One ear out the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the heart wants what the heart wants, right? I mean, but in the end, you'll be aware, you know, a little bit at least, and what you're getting yourself into, like next step, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why I kind of feel not feel sorry for her, but I just hope that she really does see what she.
I feel sorry for her.
I just really hope that she really sees and accepts him for him, because the thing is that in her podcast she says, I do still want somebody who is a provider, right? But then she kind of sort of corrects herself and says, I do want somebody who is a provider, a financial provider, and then she says, or a financial contributor, because she corrected herself, so it included him.
Well, she said there's one clip too that struck me where she was like, oh well, now you're there for me, like now you're more aware that I'm pregnant, and you do give me massages at night, and so like when you do that, I milk it. You like oil me and my belly and give me massages. But at the beginning, you really never talked to the baby. It was like you didn't even realize I was pregnant, and you never even asked me how I'm doing and if I'm okay. And like I needed you to ask me like 5 times a day. And he's like giggling about it, and I'm like, he's so dumb. And number 2, I don't think he loves you. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I think it's a convenience for him. And I think it's like he probably saw that she was green and she was totally into him. And he was getting like the better end of the deal with her. And that he could put minimal effort and she would be okay with it because she was so young and didn't know anything. And because she was so in love and still is so in love, it's really, really hard for her to understand what's happening, to understand the dynamic. It's not until later when you realize, wait, this is not acceptable. This is not what I want. This is not the kind of man I want, that she's going to like wake up and like have the strength to move on. If she never realizes that, then I think she knows, but she's afraid to, too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we all are when we're that young, like, especially when you grow up around a community where it's important to have a significant other, right? It's kind of like your status is having a significant other. And especially if you're married, like you don't divorce.
Yeah. And I feel like in that culture too, and if are they also Christians?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, they're Christians, and then he's a pastor too. I'm like, wow, you just married like up, or whatever,
There's like a glorified.
Yeah, glory, but
Was that their first baby?
It is
their
her
first
baby.
Okay.
She's still pregnant. That's why.
Okay.
That's kind of why she went offline for a little bit, because after she got all the hate, she took some time off because it was very stressful, because people were really, really, really going in on him on it.
It was a terrible, terrible podcast though,
And
because
I don't know why she talked about it.
Yeah, she looked unhappy talking about it. She looked miserable. She looked like she was like letting the world know and letting him know how disappointed she was and how unhappy she was. In front of the camera and to his face, you know, it's like,
And he just kind of laughed.
yeah, he just like laughed, and it's like he doesn't really understand the importance of this moment and the things that she's saying. She's basically saying, you need to step up, and I'm telling you this right now in front of the world.
Yeah.
But it was like in one ear and out the other. He wasn't really
Kind of
getting it at all.
Behaves like a child.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because even when she was like, oh, you know, I just feel like maybe I will always be the one who makes more money than you. And he was like, yeah, and I'm okay with that. I'm like,
Yeah, like
that's a really attractive trait.
I mean,
Yeah.
that says a lot about her too, airing that all
Yeah.
out too. You know,
She
like,
asked, she asked him, like, because, you know, they talked about the wedding the night after their wedding when he was playing games all night. And she was like, well, should we really talk about it? And he's like, yeah. He was like, fine with it. And I'm like,
he's clueless a little.
I was like, I
bit.
don't know what
That's why I said he's kind of dumb.
emotionally immature. Yeah.
yeah, he might be clueless, but I mean, she should have also not have put so much of their stuff out there.
Yeah, I
You know?
agree.
I mean, even her tone and she didn't
Oh
look
my
like
God,
she
her
was
demeanor
serious, and her
was
demeanor
like,
seemed like she was really disappointed. And
Yeah.
you know, if you're gonna be talking about that stuff too, I feel like, I don't know, you should
That's
have
a
at least
private
yeah, that's a
conversation.
private conversation, and you should have talked about that beforehand and gotten therapy,
Yeah.
and then maybe come back and talk
Yeah.
about it, because then you guys can talk instead of in real time figuring it out,
Yeah.
and even being more disappointed again because you felt like you had a second attempt to talk about it, and maybe with cameras on he would change his reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Nope,
didn't show that he did,
I
you know, or he understood. It didn't make him help understand.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
After the fact, like, she should have done that. But I think at the moment she was just so stuck that she was kind of like screaming for help. Like she needed to just do something, you know. She was really frustrated. Yeah.
I think so too.
But she did defend him. So
Yeah, but then like she regretted it. She regretted it.
Yeah.
She regretted her approach.
yeah,
Uh,
because she took down she took down the those episodes for that podcast.
it was bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have aired all of that.
No, I agree. And I think that's what happens when you're on social media, right? We share.
Oh, for sure.
We just sometimes people overshare. That would be me.
We share one aspect of it, and nobody really knows the full story.
Yeah.
I feel it could come off really bad.
Yeah.
Because maybe they have a healthy relationship. Because even despite her stating that she has maybe 2 jobs, she says he does a lot of the editing of what they do too in her videos. So, and you guys all know with the podcast, you guys, it's a lot of hours and a lot of work and editing.
Yeah.
So even though she may be working full time, he might be editing all those videos that he's doing for her.
Yeah. I just don't get that
Elsie
energy
has
from
no
him.
faith in this man.
No, you can tell someone is a bum just by looking at them. And she is trying so hard to protect him in the public, knowing that she doesn't have an equal partner, knowing that he barely contributes to her life, and she still has the responsibility and a duty as a woman and as a wife to uplift her husband, you know. And that's really sad. Like as a woman, like that we have to do that. Like they should be able to hold their own.
But she's
you know?
also protecting the unity.
Yeah.
Like now she's like, oh snaps. Like I totally, you know, just threw my husband under the bus, and we have a child coming up, and now it looks like this. I don't want it. I shouldn't have done that.
And we're still a team. Yay. You know?
Yeah. Well, because, you know, it's not like it's gonna be easy to leave a relationship, especially when she's expecting, especially when you're expecting. You know, and she's so young still too. It's like, I mean, if she was to leave, you still got time, girl. But
you know what's funny? I saw this clip. Somebody commented. This lady said, you know, you can't attract someone whose energy is so different from you. Therefore, she probably gets off at saying she's a provider, that she has 2 jobs to hold down the household, and you know, to kind of like their energy are probably both a little bit, I don't know whether we're toxic or like it's something. There's like something there. Yeah, there's something there
That's holding them. Yeah, it's codependency.
So,
probably, and then also like opposites attract, right? because I think her dad innately knows that. I mean, her dad sounds like a workaholic as well, because he's also in
Engineer. Yeah.
and he seems to be working a lot, and so I think he sees
She's
the
like
same
him.
ambition as her,
Mhm.
and so I think that he probably was hoping for maybe another ambitious man next to her,
Yeah.
and then she can relax. But if she has his quality as a daughter, then definitely she's gonna be more ambitious.
Yeah.
And if you have two ambitious people in the relationship, they can be butting heads too, in a lot of things.
Yeah. You
And-
could, but that guy has to be a lot more ambitious than you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
stronger.
Yep.
And who could be more ambitious in having? If she has 2 jobs, he needs to have 3. Like, right? But then, so where's your equal? You have to be better. So. I mean, he has to be working overnight, so essentially he's not even in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you're doing a little bit dramatic here. Okay, just saying. I mean, I think I agree with you. I feel like the connection is because maybe they are kind of opposites of attract. And maybe if she is a provider, she just needs to embrace that she is.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
But if she's not, then she got to find somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. More ambitious than she is and more hardworking. Than
But it takes growth. It takes. So she might have to grow up.
Yeah.
And realize that
I agree.
she can't have the provider, because then that means that the provider has to have 3 jobs, right?
No, that's not true.
We're saying, right? She has 2 jobs, right? I mean, legitimately, right?
Yeah.
And so then that means that, if that's the case, then she might have to realize that, I might want that financial contributor after all, that person who can contribute equally, and it might not be monetary. It might have to be energy wise.
But
Yeah,
so
but-
yeah.
I get it. Energy does not pay the bills.
No,
Hey, if you
no.
just stay at home dad and you're taking care of
that's
everything
different,
else, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice
Yeah.
too, because I can pretend I'm somebody and then come back home and expect the whole house to be clean
I know.
and have a cooked meal.
Yeah.
That's beautiful,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some.
No,
I
I
know
know why
some.
men love that.
I know some
like that.
ladies who like that or want that.
Yeah, yeah.
They want to be the sole provider, and I'm like, wow. No. I still want my man to be same or above me
Something.
always.
But that is
because I
what
have
she's
been with
voicing.
someone who is
Below you.
below,
Yeah.
and it's not fun. It's not nice. I don't like it.
No, that is what she's voicing though. She's not happy. She doesn't want to. I'm sure she would be happy just to stop working her corporate job or her main job and just to do her social media. That would help her a lot. She's so tired. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
So it's. I get what you're saying. The dynamic. She might be subconsciously proud.
Yeah.
Because you said she might get off on it a little bit, subconsciously. There's something holding them together, but she is voicing her dissatisfaction because she wants a shift.
Yeah.
Or the option to be able to be like, I want to raise my kid.
Yeah.
And you can continue making funds or money for us,
But she also likes a certain lifestyle. She also wants, things.
Yeah.
Whatever, that she's used to, right?
Yeah.
And he's not going to give her that. So she's got to do it herself. She realized that she's got to do it herself.
He's doing.
So Sarah Kim, if you are listening, he's not going to change. And I know this by experience because I even went to marriage counseling. And I don't think I ever told you guys this, but we went to marriage counseling and I went for a few sessions. And then, my therapist said, you know what, Elsie, let's do some individual sessions. I said, okay. So I go to my individual session with her and she said, he's never going to change. And in order for this relationship to work, you have to accept him the way he is or you have to leave. So right now, I want to give you the tools for whatever decision you make. And in that moment, I was like, oh, damn, she knows it's not going to work. And for me to always be pushing him to change or wanting to change or wanting things to be different, it's not going to work. And a professional is telling me this, who has seen many, many, many couples who've seen this pattern over and over again. I was like, okay, it's done. Because if he's not going to change and he cannot change, then there's no point in this relationship because I'm not okay with things the way they are. So Sarah Kim, you talking to him, you publicizing all this stuff is not going to change him. He is the way he is. We are all the way we are who we are, and we're never going to change.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like if this is your person, if you think that this is somebody you want to invest in, then the easier person to change is yourself.
Oh,
So that means
Yeah.
that you need to be the
Yeah.
one who's going to have to have that, accept it or
Exactly.
have that discussion within yourself about what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept.
Yeah.
And also change your own personality and who you are.
That's what the marriage counselor said.
Yeah.
You have to change and accept him the way he is,
Yeah. Exactly.
or
Because it's really hard to change a person.
you cannot
you
change
know?
them.
Yeah.
Only yourself or leave,
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I do. Thinking about the dad thing, now that I think about it, maybe the dad should have said something.
I agree.
Yeah, because I did date somebody. You guys know him, probably. His name rhymes with Airy. Okay, but my dad straight up came to me and said, "Honey, you better break up with him. You better leave him." I'm not kidding. Like, he was serious. He did not like my ex-boyfriend at all.
Okay.
And he's like, "I'm not kidding. You cannot be with him. You cannot stay with him." And I listened to my dad. And the reason why is because I'm quite rebellious. I don't listen to people. When they tell me what to do, I tend to do the opposite. But the reason why I listened to him is because I saw everything he was pointing out.
Okay.
Like,
What did he say? Give me one example or one characteristic that he didn't like.
toxic, his bunch of red flags.
Oh,
But from your father's perspective.
Well, but no, my dad didn't call out any. My dad just came to me and said, "You better leave him.
Okay.
Like, he's no good."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh snap, he's never said this about anybody."
Yeah. I feel like some dads are, if they have a relationship with their daughter at all, I feel like that they would be the ones to at least voice some concern. Because I know when I had a toxic ex,
Yeah.
we were supposed to meet up and at one of these like family functions.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Where's your boyfriend?" And I was like, "Oh, he said he's coming, but I guess he's not coming anymore."
Oh.
And my dad's like, "Well, you know what? That's not appropriate. You're like, this is the first time you're here."
Yeah.
And like he said he was gonna come, and I wanted to meet him and I wanted to see him, and that's not appropriate that he's hanging out in the city and not wanting to come to this actual event.
And he said he's going to come, but then he's not.
Yeah. So my dad was like, that's not a good way he should.
That's not a good quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quality. So like him just voicing that, or it had helped me have a red flag. Like, okay, so this is my dad wants a different quality kind of guy for me.
Yep. And it matters to your dad. It should matter to you more, right?
Exactly. Or like that your dad might have the best interest for you, right? And he knows how men act too, right? So they're gonna know if that man is serious about you or not serious, or if that man has a good quality, for you or not. Yeah,
Great. All right. I feel like y'all seem a little bit passionate about this there.
dads are important.
We have all dated someone like Andrew, okay? Or married someone like him. So
It wasn't like that, but then all of a sudden, something happened.
it never starts out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So we feel it really deep in our hearts, okay? That's why.
Well,
we're so
I did see
passionate
the
about it.
point
where Sarah said after the marriage, she was like, "I didn't know you were into video games like this."
Yeah.
Clearly they didn't date long enough.
Yeah,
Others know that. She was disappointed because she found out after the marriage.
Yeah.
The wedding,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This is just what we see, what she puts out there on social media. For all we know, she can be a bitch, and we don't even know. And he puts up with
That's
her.
true, yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't really know because all the videos she puts out are very wholesome, very loving, whatever. But for all we know, she can be the biggest bitch ever, and he has to deal with her. For all we know, I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Yeah.
I don't know. If you saw the full 7-part episode of their conversation, let us know what you really thought, because I just got piecemeals.
Yeah.
And yes, I agree. I don't know. And he did support her when she was unemployed, but I still think she is the breadwinner. She's still the man of the house. She still does everything, and that's okay. But she needs to be happy with it. She needs to accept that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Okay, let's wrap up this episode because I feel like we kind of went off on a little tangent on there. Probably because it was so near and dear to our hearts, apparently.
Yeah. We talk a lot about relationships here.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap up the episode here. Thank you all for joining us on this episode. Be on the lookout. We will drop episodes every Sunday. So we're back on our regular schedule now. So look out, and we're So glad that you guys are watching our episodes. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Until next time, thanks, guys. Bye.